morning. My name is Valentina Welkin, and today I'm going to do my video presentation about the case in California, Menlo Park, California. Uh, I'm going to start answering the prompts that the Professor Rosetta Morris asked to us to present. The first one will be briefly description of the situation and what is the case about. The second one is what is the trigger for the intervention and the change of this case. How was the information data gathered, and I will be describing the intervention too. In the last slides, I will be doing like adding some recommendations about the intervention based on the readings that we did so far, such as Lencioni, Who Moved My Cheese, Comments and Worley, and I will start as soon. So for the brief description of the situation, I want to start that Menlo Park, California is a city of about 32,000 residents in San Francisco Bay Area. They faced serious fiscal challenges, such as many municipalities during economic downturns. So the city really experienced decline in sales tax revenue, state diversion of local funds, and they also rising the retiree benefit costs. So to address all these financial pressures, what the city did was reduce the budget, um, downsized its workforce by approximately 13%. According to these, what they did, it was eliminating around 30 full-time positions. However, instead of implementing abrupt layoff, Menlo Park took a strategic and participative approach to manage the downsizing process. Okay, so this is a little bit about the description of the situation of the case. I'm going to continue with the what triggered the intervention. So for me, what triggered the intervention was the change for financial instability, specifically declining the sales tax revenue, reduced the local government funding due to state relocations, and also escalating the retiree benefit obligations. So these factors, I think, they created a structural budget uh, deficit that required immediate action to try to at least maintain uh, fiscal sustainability. This aligns with one of our readings from Cummins and Worley's in how they do the explanation that organizational change is often triggered by environmental and economic pressures that are threaten long-term viability. So that's what I think it triggers this intervention. I'm going to continue with how was the information and the data gathered. So Menlo Park gathered information from multiple stakeholders. They use participative and transparent process. The first one it was the all the employee input that includes all employee forums, departmental action teams, suggestion boxes. The second one was the union collaboration, that it was direct discussions with union representative and the development of voluntary separation programs. The third one was the community engagement, like your city, your decision survey. They got 1,000 plus responses from 15,500 households. Also the community workshops and the input from city commissions. The fourth one was the elected officials. So this was the council retreats and structured meetings, the service priority rankings, and the economic expert projections. So this approach, I think it reflects with Cummins and Worley's too, emphasis on diagnostic data collection and stakeholder involvement during plan organizational change. I will say here that some outcomes was the balanced budget. They limited the forced layoff. They maintain core services, and they also preserve the moral and trust of their employees. Okay, in the last part, we have what additional recommendations will I have? So the strength team question, that is the Lencioni reading. So according to this reading, teams often fail due to lack of trust, fear of conflict, uh, lack of commitment, or even like avoidance of accountability and inattention to results. Like they are not detail oriented, they don't pay attention to the results. So while Menlo Park involve their employees, what I will recommend to them is like a structured trust building workshops within departments that it can make it more specifically. Clear accountability is super important with the frameworks the downsizing and explicit performance metrics tied to new priorities. Okay, they will check on their performance metrics and they will be having new priorities that will help them to achieve those goals and those KPIs that they need. So this will ensure that after workforce reductions, the teams will be remaining cohesive and focused on results and not just on the tasks and works that they have. They will be trying to engage more of these results and working from them. For the part of managing emotional resistance to change, such as the breeding that we have, Who Moved My Cheese, Spencer Johnson explains that individuals, us as a humans, will respond differently to change. Some of us resist to it, others adapt quickly. But here in this case, Menlo Park offer counseling and communication to his employees, and I will say that additional like steps could include change readiness training sessions, workshops, maybe helping their employees to reframe change as opportunity, try to see it as an opportunity, and leadership modeling that will adapt to their behavior. So this will help employees to moving from fear toward like proactive adaptation, and they will start be more proactive about their work environment. Okay, in the part of the institutionalizing the change about our reading Cummins and Worley. Cummins and Worley emphasize in the importance of institutionalizing change to prevent regression. So I will make some additional recommendations regarding to this, like Menlo Park can make develop long-term financial monetary systems. They can implement continuous improvement teams, uh, conduct post downsizing culture assessments, and they can formalize also communications channels for ongoing feedback. And this will help them getting this feedback and trying to put that into account, and they can see what they're doing good and what they're not doing good. And this will ensure change is not temporary, but it will be embedded into organizational systems and culture. Okay. This will be my reflection about it. So I want to conclude that Menlo Park's downsizing case demonstrates an effective participative approach to any organizational change. Um, the trigger was fiscal crisis, but the city responded strategically by engaging the employees, collaborating with unions, gathering community input, maintaining transparency with elected officials. By integrating all of the ratings strategies from Lencioni, Johnson, Cummins, and Worley, the city could offer further strength trust, reduce resistance, and maybe try to institutionalize a long-term change that can help them in this change and approach all this whole situation. This case, I think it illustrates that even in difficult organizational changes, such as downsizing, you can always implement a way that will be protecting the moral, the trust, and the public service priorities, and also take care of your employees that are the most important thing. So I really think that's really important about the commitment that will create between the engagement between the company and your employees. So this will be my reflection about the case. And these are the reference that I use for everything. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Professor Morris.